So Islam Makhachev versus Bobby Green just took place in the main event of UFC Fight Night Vegas 49, Makhachev versus Green, and it was over in the first round. Not really an event whatsoever. Islam Makhachev gets the first round TKO to ground and pound to the poor shoulders and arms of Bobby Green, because the stoppage was a little bit early in my opinion. I did understand that, you know what, Bobby Green's probably going to lose this fight anyway, but I do believe that maybe a couple of cleaner shots should have been landed before the referee jumped in. But either way, I'm not going to complain that it was an incorrect stoppage. It was just a little bit early. Not a wrong stoppage, just a bit of an early stoppage, because I believe that maybe Bobby Green should have been given a little bit more of a chance to try one more scramble on the ground or something like that. But either way, the fight probably would have been stopped anyway eventually. Islam Makhachev was in full mount on top of Bobby Green with about a minute and a half left in the first round, and if he wasn't stopped there, he probably would have just rained down blows on top of Bobby Green for the rest of that round until it was stopped. So again, before the Dagestani fans hate me beyond belief, not a wrong stoppage, a correct stoppage, just a little bit earlier than I would have imagined. But other than that, though, let's talk about the dominance of Islam Makhachev. Not really too much happened on the feet early on. I believe Islam Makhachev landed a decent right hand at one point. Maybe Bobby Green landed like a decent shot to the body on Islam Makhachev. And honestly, early on in this fight, Islam Makhachev couldn't quite get a takedown on Bobby Green. He was pushing him up against the cage. Bobby Green had a decent sprawl in the early round, landed some really good knees to the body in that certain position, landed a couple of shots in the clinch and stuff like that. But other than that, Islam Makhachev found his double leg, got his hands together underneath Bobby Green, picked him up, took him for a ride, and from then on, it was just Bobby Green trying not to get himself destroyed on the ground. There were moments where Bobby Green was stopping the guard pass of Islam Makhachev by lifting his knee up and stopping Islam Makhachev from immediately taking full mount, but eventually, Islam Makhachev got a hold of him and just took him for a spin, tried to get into half guard at one point. I'm actually going to check it right now because I've got it in front of me here. He gets the takedown on Bobby Green immediately, and Bobby Green has got an underhook, but Makhachev takes him down anyway, and he ends up on top, and it's just a game to see if he can pass over Bobby Green's guard. And for a while, Bobby Green did put up a decent display of defense on the ground, but it was just only a matter of time before Islam Makhachev wet blankets his way on top of you, finds the full mount position, and starts doing a bit more damage. Bobby Green at one point tried to turn to his side to try and come up on one knee, but when you do that, of course, you risk giving up your back to Islam Makhachev, and that seemed to be the main game plan for Bobby Green on the ground, just don't give up my back. At one point, even here right now, Bobby Green tried to escape underneath and out the bottom against Islam Makhachev, but Makhachev had very good positioning, kept control, had good shoulder positioning, used it to flatten out Bobby Green again and keep top position, and eventually it was too much for Bobby Green and he got done over in the first round. I mean, as soon as Islam Makhachev took mount, it was over for Bobby Green. He tried to scramble, tried to escape the position. Islam Makhachev kept his hooks in very well. At one point, I believe he even had the back until Bobby Green opted to go into full mount, and Islam Makhachev just pounds him out with big shots. But again, I will mention this. They weren't landing clean, you know? Like, they were punches to the shoulder of Bobby Green, or the arm of Bobby Green. So as much as I do understand that a fighter has to improve his position, when you're mounted by someone, it's very, very difficult to improve your position. It's extremely difficult to improve your position. The guy has you mounted. So I think if a fighter is doing enough to not get hit a lot, and not take concussive blows, he's kind of defending himself from that position. And you even saw at the end, Bobby Green sort of tried one more hip escape to sort of roll himself back over up to the front, rather than have his back taken to where he was being pounded out towards the end. And he sort of tried to turn himself back over to the front. And maybe, I'm not saying this would have happened, I don't believe it would have done. I reckon Makhachev was going to finish Bobby Green in that first round. Maybe there is a world where Bobby Green managed a hip escape back into half guard and sort of like controlled and just kept a hold of Islam Makhachev until the end of that round, and maybe would have survived to see a second. But other than that, Islam Makhachev shows his dominance again. He's about 10 pounds of muscle bigger than most people in that division. I mean, Bobby Green was talking about how he has to make a disastrous cut down to the 155-pound division, but in reality, Islam Makhachev is still 10 pounds bigger than him in terms of muscle. Nowhere near looking like they're in the same weight class. But that's Islam Makhachev. That's Dagestanis for you, way bigger than their opponents, and he showed that big strength advantage here over Bobby Green, and the technique is there as well, and that's what people don't notice as much. Sure, he's a big, strong guy that's bigger than nearly everyone that he takes on ever, and that's mainly the reason why he can throw him around so easily. But the level of technique is there as well. The back-taking technique. Even some of the skill on the feet has come up in skill level as well. Like, on the feet before, I just did a video on my second channel. By the way, if you want to check out my second channel, I'll try and remember to put a link in the description below. But other than that, I do have a second channel, though, the MMA Guru Clips, where I posted a breakdown of how Islam Makhachev lost to Adriano Martins. And when you look at that footage there, when he got KO'd in the first round, and look at him now, it's night and day levels on the feet. He's massively improved his stand-up, and more importantly, he's massively improved his stand-up defense, which was one of his biggest problems earlier in his career. And now it seems like he's gotten that under control, because even against Davey Ramos, I believe he got dropped to one knee on a check hook. But now, Islam Makhachev is way more patient, looking for leg kicks on the outside, looking for body kicks on the outside. I believe at one point in this fight, he landed a good front kick to the body or something like that, and eventually found his way into the clinch to get his takedown. And once Islam Makhachev gets his takedown, it's all over. Unless you're a jiu-jitsu guy. If you're a jiu-jitsu guy, you can survive with him for a bit, it seems. You know what I mean? If you look at his previous fights, I mean, Adriano Martins is a jiu-jitsu guy. He finished him in the first round. Then you look at Thiago Moises, jiu-jitsu guy, took him to the fourth round in their fight against Islam Makhachev. And even another, Davey Ramos, took him the distance, all 3 rounds. Didn't really get dominated on the ground until the third round, where he got dropped with a knee. Had a decent performance there. So I feel like jiu-jitsu is the kryptonite of Islam Makhachev, but his stand-up is improving. So he doesn't even maybe need to get to a point eventually where he needs to get people to the ground. He's so big and strong on the feet, and he's got good power as well, that I think he's going to be a real problem in this division. But and here's the problem that I had before the event, and it's the problem I have now, and it's the problem that's going to get me dislikes on this video, because I'm not sitting here like the Weasel and sucking this man's cock. Like, I know the Weasel's going to be making a video, wow, what an amazing performance here, guys. Islam Makhachev might just beat Glover Teixeira here, guys. Like, I'm sure the Weasel's going to be just completely gargling the chode of Islam Makhachev, saying that he's going to be a triple champ and stuff like that. But either way, this is Bobby Green, man. And that was the problem coming in, and it's the problem coming out. Did he make Bobby Green look like Bobby Green? Yes. But it's still Bobby Green. You know, even if you make him look like Bobby Green, it's Bobby Green. Not ranked in a division. Title shot. He mentioned in his post-fight speech that he wanted a title shot next. But before he mentioned that, he actually said in his post-fight speech, you can go back and look at it now, he said that maybe him and Dariush can meet back up again and get it going again, because he hears that Dariush is healed up now from his injury. So he wants to get it back going with Beneil Dariush. So, if the UFC is looking at that, they are seeing a promo for a title shot, and also a little bit of a promo in the post-fight speech to rebook the Beneil Dariush fight. And apparently Beneil Dariush is now healthy, ready to get back into training. So, in my opinion, Dagestanis are going to hate this. Oliveira Gaethje happens in May. The winner of that is going to make a lot of money, and they're probably going to get injured in some way, because it's going to be a firefight. So I believe the winner of Oliveira versus Gaethje probably won't return until earliest October. Do you want to wait 8 months until October to see Islam Makhachev again? I know I don't. So what I would say is hey, Oliveira Gaethje is the main event of UFC 274. I believe it is 273 maybe. No, it's 274. UFC 274. Oliveira Gaethje is the main event. I would try and book Islam Makhachev versus Beneil Dariush again a week or 2 after that event on a fight night main event, and say, hey, Islam Makhachev, if anyone falls out of this main event on a UFC 274 between Oliveira and Gaethje, we'll call you, we'll bring you out of your Dariush fight, and you'll fight for the belt instead. But if no one pulls out, you'll fight Dariush and earn your title shot by beating a top 10 opponent, because it hasn't happened yet. Sure, he beat Dan Hooker on a week's notice. Bobby Green on a week's notice. Like, Arman Tsarukyan is now looking really good, and he's moved up the rankings himself. But I want to see like a top 5 win. And I know it sucks because Beneil Dariush pulled out. And maybe if Beneil Dariush pulls out again, we can just say, hey, fuck it. Give Islam Makhachev the title shot anyway. He's earned it. I just want to see him take on a well-rounded guy before we get against Charles Oliveira or Justin Gaethje. That's my honest opinion. And I hope that maybe they remake that Beneil Dariush fight. And that would be good for him. Last thing I want to see is an inactive Islam Makhachev. Because who knows? Maybe the winner of Gaethje versus Oliveira doesn't fight till December. Maybe they don't fight until January of next year. We don't know these things. Maybe someone gets an ACL torn in that title fight. And maybe that would justify an interim belt between him and Beneil Dariush or something like that. But other than that, though, I want to see Islam Makhachev stay active. He took no damage in this fight whatsoever. I want to see him get right back into another fight against Beneil Dariush just after the UFC 274 card with Oliveira versus Gaethje, and the winners can take on each other, and then you would have a really hyped up title shot, although this is a lot of hype for Islam Makhachev because he dominated Bobby Green in the first round. Man, Bobby Green really had nothing for him. I predicted he wouldn't have anything for him, to be fair. I said Bobby Green is way more patient and hesitant on the feet when he takes on grapplers, and that's exactly what you saw here. Basically had nothing to offer Islam Makhachev outside of a couple of good knees and maybe one good body kick and a good jab to the body as well. But other than that, Islam Makhachev strengthened his way to a takedown on a good double leg and just smushed him on the ground because he's just, he's better than him in grappling and he's 10 pounds of muscle bigger. So it's like it's a problem in the lightweight division we're going to have to deal with here. So I think Islam Makhachev, I don't know if this is enough to tell me he beats Oliveira. I saw someone in the on the Twitter feed on the actual fight say, the best 155er in the world. Like, you beat Bobby Green in the first round. You know what I mean? Like, let's chill out with the best 155er in the world conversation. Okay, because guess who else beat Bobby Green in the first round? Closer to his prime. Dustin Poirier. So let's not get ahead of ourselves here, just labeling him the champ above Oliveira for finishing Bobby Green on a week's notice, who isn't even ranked. But, like, respect to Islam Makhachev, very dominant performance. I've been picking him for a long time now. The only time I picked against Islam Makhachev was when he fought Arman Tsarukyan in his debut. Arman Tsarukyan took the fight on a couple of weeks' notice against Islam Makhachev at UFC Moscow, I believe, or maybe UFC St. Petersburg, one of those Russian events. I picked Arman Tsarukyan to beat him because I knew how good Arman Tsarukyan was. But since then, I haven't really picked against Makhachev, picked him against Ramos, picked him against Moises, picked him against Dan Hooker, picked him against Bobby Green, and he's been doing me justice ever since, so good for him. Very good win by Islam Makhachev, but I would say, let's rebook that Dariush fight. Because I like that fight, and I want to see him earn a title shot, and that's how you earn a title shot. But dislike the video away, and tell me somehow that beating Bobby Green gets you a title shot, even though he isn't even ranked. Please do it. If you're going to dislike this video for me saying I still want to see him versus Dariush before a title shot, please just argue to me why beating an unranked Bobby Green on a week's notice gets you a title shot. I'd love to see it. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Very good win by Makhachev. I said second round rear naked choke. He ended up getting it done by first round TKO. But again, weird stoppage. But so was the Dan Hooker stoppage. No one talks about that one. Dan Hooker never tapped, never verbally tapped, and they stopped the fight. And he protested the stoppage, but no one cares. No one talks about it, which is weird. 2 weird stoppages in a row. But either way, like and subscribe. Click that button up there. Toodle pip. I'll see you later. Goodbye. A great win by Islam Makhachev. And for Bobby Green, I don't know what's next for him, but I would love a Brad Riddell matchup. Something like that. I mean, Bobby Green took 0 damage. I mean, all of the finishing blows of the fight were to his arm. So I'm sure he's going to have maybe a dead arm or a bruised forearm or something. But other than that, he took no concussive damage from that TKO loss. So, yeah, turn right back around. Get in there against a guy like Brad Riddell. That'd be a fun striking match. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Up there. See you later. Goodbye.